Hi, everyone. This is Rico Figliolini, host of Peachtree Corners Life, here in the city of Peachtree Corners in the great state of Georgia. This morning at 9 o'clock, if you're listening in soon, we're starting with a really cool guest. She's been in the pro golf business, if you will, since she was 11 years old. So I'm going to introduce Jane Park with me. Jane Park. Hey, Jane.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you. Jane is a pro golfer with the PGA, right? Women's
LPGA.
LPGA, thank you. And we're discussing today the reason we're talking. She lives out in Woodstock, so close enough to Peachtree Corners that we could say she's part of the city, if you will. Mm-hmm. And because there's going to be a returning championship that she's going to be part of coming in 2021. And coming just a few minutes north of us at the Atlanta Athletic Club. And that's the 67th KPMG Women's PGA Championship that's returning to Georgia. It's actually going to have the largest women's purse, I think, right?
Yes, one of the largest women's purses. First place is $645,000. So that's a
good
money.
Payday. That's a great payday, yes, for sure. And I think the whole purse, I think, is like $3.85 million or something.
I think it's about $4.3 million.
Wow. Okay, yeah. That's grown even more than
it has grown
before. So this is the largest, actually, women's purse, if you will, in history, it seems.
I think there's one that's slightly bigger, but this is definitely one of the biggest.
All right, and that's a shame because really, I mean, since I forget if it was Title IX or Title 11. Girls have grown into sports like soccer and other sports. Mm-hmm. Golf is no different than that. I believe there are high schools that have women golf teams and stuff. Mm-hmm. And yet the purses continue to be smaller than the men's, it seems sometimes.
Yes.
And I'm sure I'm sure you would love to see that a little bigger.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe, one day the ladies can play for just as much as the men, but unfortunately, I don't think I'll see it in my lifetime. But obviously, with the work that KPMG does with their leadership summit and their charitable initiative to help, future girls get, development and advancement and empowerment through women's golf. It could be, a great stepping stone to empowering little girls and women. And helping us maybe reach that, equal pay in the golf life. So hopefully one day.
Yeah, that would be the right way of going. Now you were born in Chicago.
Yes.
You started at 11 years old.
Yes.
Playing golf. So tell me a little bit about that. How was that at 11? I mean, was the club bigger than you even?
Well, yeah. Well, I when I first started, I didn't really have a love for the game. My older brother was playing. He's 3 years older than I am, and he was playing and had my dad as a coach. So I pretty much just followed along, and it was kind of my dad had to take me to the golf course and babysit me. So I just got super bored one day, just rolling down the hills, like being a kid. So my dad just put a club in my hand, and I guess I was a natural when I first started. So he focused his attention, he shifted his attention from my brother to me. So that's kind of how I got started, hitting a couple balls a day and then kind of making it, hitting more balls every day. But, eventually I wanted to get a scholarship to school, which is a big help for our family. And my goal was to get to UCLA, and I was able to reach that goal. So I was very happy about that.
Well, that paid for college, I'm assuming that.
Yes, it did. It did.
So,
yeah.
Well, when I'm just curious now because obviously you're the natural in the family, it seems. Yeah. Did your brother does he play golf still?
He does not.
He does not.
The first time I beat him, I think that was when his love for the game kind of went, okay, well, if my little sister can beat me, then I probably shouldn't really do this anymore.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, every kid in a family is different. You know,
Yes,
we all have different aspirations and talents.
exactly.
Um, God knows I have three kids, and they're all different from each other.
Got a
Um,
handful.
yeah, no, well, they're older now, so thank goodness. Two of
Okay.
them graduated, so they live at home, but it's okay. I don't mind the noise around the house. um, but so you, I think, you've been playing for 13 years now, right?
Yes, so this coming 2020 will be my 13th season, so 13th year on the professional tour.
Yeah, and I'm sure at the beginning it wasn't that easy, right? I mean, a lot more practice.
You know what? I actually got really lucky. My first few years, I actually had a few good results, and I didn't really go through the growing pains, if you might say. Being a newbie on tour. But, the growing pains came a few years after, where when I thought, oh, I played so well my first few years, it's just going to be a smooth ride from here on out. But,
Right.
all golfers will know that you go into kind of slumps and, you play well a few weeks and then all of a sudden the next week you can't even make contact with the ball sometimes. So, it's definitely been a learning process. I definitely learn something different every year that I'm on tour. And I'm very, very thankful that I've been able to have, a pretty relatively long career out here on the LPGA, compared to, some of my the other players on tour.
Yeah.
So.
It's interesting to me. I mean, sure, you would think younger people. I mean, you're not old. You're young still. Only 20, 24 maybe or something.
Me?
I add that. Yeah. Are you like 20 or
I'm
13?
33.
You're 33. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sorry. You look younger.
No, it's okay. That's very flattering.
But still, 33 is not old. I mean,
No, it's not.
for
It's not.
especially
But in,
for
in golf age, I'm pretty ancient, actually.
really? Oh man. All right. Well, you know what? It's like the Alta tennis players, right? They age at 70, they'll still be on the court as long as they can spot that ball, they can still
Exactly.
play.
Exactly.
So learning every year new things. Are you still so do you I heard that recently you were being coached by someone here in Georgia as well.
Hmm.
Does that help is it like anything else, like, sales is like that, other sports is like that, where you need a revisit to a coach to be able to teach you a little bit more?
Yeah, I think it's all part of, as a professional, you're trying to reach perfection, and obviously it's not possible, but the aspect of trying to get better every day, you need someone to kind of guide you, because if I'm doing this all on my own, then I honestly don't really have I don't really have enough knowledge to teach myself.
Right.
So, having someone who, and my coach's name is Scott Hamilton, and he's up in Cartersville, Georgia.
Ah,
And he teaches many, many players on the men's tour and a few on the women's tour as well. But he's so knowledgeable and just kind of gives me, a drill or two to work on, between our lessons. So it's almost like kind of keeping someone interested with a little tidbit to work on.
right.
So if you didn't have any type of guidance or any type of direction, then it would be hard to really work on something to improve yourself.
True.
So.
So every young person or parent watching this, if they have young kids in sports, they
Mhm.
know that they need a coach somewhere,
Mhm.
especially
But also you can't have you need to be careful that you don't find the wrong coach, because there's a lot of them out there.
oh, yeah, well, yeah, I would think just like any other business.
Yes.
So when you started out younger, then I mean, your dad was
Hmm.
the initial coach, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, when did you actually get a coach? Not a real coach, but like a professional coach. At what point did that happen?
Well, I was very lucky in that my father was a huge golf nerd, and he read every single book known to man, in terms of golf. So he read, Jack Nicklaus's book. He watched videos and tapes, and he learned the fundamentals that way. And just like any other sport, the fundamentals are the most important foundation of whatever game you're playing. So he was very knowledgeable in terms of trying to teach me those basics, and got me pretty far. But my first coach was his name is Scott Wilson, and I started working with him when I was about 15. So I would say I had my first PGA professional coach at 15. So yeah, it's been a long time since then.
If you had, I don't know if you have children yet or not.
I do not know.
And if you end up, would you encourage them to be in the same sport? Would you encourage them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I would. My husband's actually super into golf. He's actually a golf caddy on the women's tour, so we get to travel together. But yes, he loves golf, and I think he would love nothing more than to go play golf with his little girl or his little boy.
Right. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Let's get back a little bit to the KPMG, and then we'll talk a little bit more about your growth as well. But I just want to make sure that we cover the championship well enough here.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit more about the KPMG Women's PGA Championship that's going to be coming in 21 to Georgia, to the Atlanta Athletic Club. A little bit about that.
Well, the KPMG Women's PGA, it's one of 5 LPGA majors, and the men only have 4 majors, but the ladies, we've got 5. So I mean, that's a little better, I guess.
Yes.
And it's a pretty unique collaboration of the PGA of America, the LPGA, and KPMG, and I think this is going to be its 6th year as a major, but they basically, the three of them, PGA of America, LPGA, and KPMG come together and just host this world-class event. And the first time I played the KPMG, I think I remember thinking to myself, wow, I feel like a PGA Tour player, which is, it's an experience that you can never get unless you were a player in a PGA tournament. But from beginning to end, it's first class. We get, our own courtesy car. They have world-class chefs that come in and cook for us, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I mean, I'm getting hungry thinking about it now. But 2016 was its inaugural KPMG event, the first KPMG Women's PGA, and it's one of the strongest fields in all of the LPGA schedule. It's going to be broadcasted on NBC and Golf Channel. Right. It's going to be on some major networks, and if you're out in the Atlanta area and if you want to see some really great golf, please come to Atlanta Athletic Club in 2021, and we're giving you a very large heads up on this, so there's no reason you can't make it.
Yes, they've had some big tournaments at the Atlanta Athletic Club.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not, anyone that knows me, I'm not a golfer per se, but I can drive the ball a little bit. That's about it. Top golf is good for me. But I don't mind being on the green watching. That'll be cool to be able to be out there. So are you, you have 2 years or a year and a half, I guess, working towards that, right? There's going to be 400 players, I guess, that run through that championship now. Yeah. So what are you planning on doing to get ready for it, I guess?
Well, I mean, I've played the Atlanta Athletic Club, I think only once or twice. And it's quite far from where I live, but I might be making a few trips over there. There's obviously so much history that goes into that golf course. It's got a world-class practice facility, which is amazing. And they've hosted, numerous men's majors, and their most recent men's major that they held at this course was won by Keegan Bradley, the PGA Championship in 2011. So, and they also had the U.S. Men's Amateur Championship there in 2014. So, it's definitely one of those major championship rotation golf courses.
So if you have tip for parents that have young kids, maybe interested in golf and stuff, or sport, but golf in particular, probably. What would you say to them? What would Jane Park's advice be?
My advice would be to a few things. Find a good coach, someone who's knowledgeable, someone who knows what they're talking about. But mostly, I would say make the sport fun for your kid, because obviously, a lot of kids and parents and kids have a goal, maybe more of the parents' goal to, get the kid in a sport and get a scholarship to college, which is huge. But even if the kids' aspirations are just to get a college scholarship, that it's a lot of pressure to put on a kid. And I've seen so many young players, young talented players, who just get burned out so quickly because of the pressure that they feel from their parents, from their coaches, and just the kids are very, very competitive nowadays. I don't know if you've noticed, but kids are very competitive, and that's not a bad thing. But I think a lot of positive energy and a lot of the right type of support. Be a parent, but and let someone else be the coach, because I've seen this way too many times where the parent becomes the coach and there is no distinction between a parent and a child. It's just a parent and a child and a coach.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had my kids go through baseball, soccer, lacrosse, different sports, and you learn better, I think, from a child learns better from a coach than their father sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's a different space.
It is.
You're taking it.
It is 100%.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Just a couple of we're getting towards the end of our time, and I want to be able to let you go on time, but I thought maybe we could go through a couple of quick things of Jane Park and her personal interests and stuff. I understand you have a dog.
I don't have a dog.
You don't have a dog. Oh,
I don't. I travel way too much, so I can't take care of a dog, unfortunately.
All right. Do you have a favorite food or foodie thing that you like?
I am a foodie. I honestly, whenever my mom's around, and she's around right now, she's here in my house, I eat Korean food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
You were born in Chicago. Was your mom born in Korea?
Mom's born in Korea, yes.
Okay. So you get to eat authentic Korean food?
Authentic Korean. I will not turn down a Chicago deep dish, though. I mean, you put that in front of me and it will be gone. So
yes, I love Chicago deep dish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and my parents were born in Italy, so growing up with Italian food was the same way, though.
Wow, I'm so jealous. I've never been to Italy, and it is on my bucket list, and I just want to eat pasta all day long.
Yeah, you need to go. A friend of ours, she's Taiwanese. She took the year off and she traveled the world, and one of her favorite places was Italy. So
wow.
Actually, she's not Taiwanese. I'm sorry, she's Korean. Her husband is Taiwanese, so different. You a Waffle House fan?
Yes, I have one that's almost walkable to my house.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Cool. What's your favorite part of Georgia? I mean, what do you like about Georgia? Why did you move to Woodstock, actually?
Well, honestly, my favorite part of Georgia is we get 4 seasons here.
True.
And so I moved here from California, and obviously it's beautiful in California. It's 75 and sunny every day.
Yeah.
But moving here, I saw snow, not for the first time, but I mean, coming from California, you never really see snow.
No.
But waking up one morning and then having everything covered in snow, I mean, it's so beautiful. I love that we get fall. I mean, fall is so beautiful in the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
But mostly, I mean, I came here because obviously the cost of living is great compared to California, but also Atlanta Hartsfield is a great airport to fly out of for work. I mean, it's awesome. I can get everywhere, nonstop. So
it's definitely a hub for everyone. My son just left this morning to go to Miami, I think, or somewhere for work, and it's a great place to go from. All right, hang in there for a minute. We're going to close out our Facebook live stream to our fans out there. Appreciate you all watching. This has been Jane Park. She's a LPGA pro golfer. You can follow her. Actually, why don't you? What Instagram?
It's Instagram. I'm the Jane Park, and on Twitter, I'm the same, the Jane Park.
The Jane Park. That's amazing that you got that. That was cool. All right. So follow her on Instagram, and you can through until whenever, and you can see her playing in 2021 at the 67th KPMG Women's PGA Championship at the Atlanta Athletic Club. Thank you, guys.